Good day, Jailbird Maniacs. This is Jailbird Earl, and I got another video talking to you. Today, we're going to talk about Stone Cold Steve Austin and the interview he gave on Raw, I believe. Yes, it was on Raw. I know it's on Raw. I just now remembered. And we're also going to talk about a couple of things I saw on the WWE WebTube, such as the Candice LeRae mini documentary, what I thought about that, and why that's important, I guess. Also about the Tag Team Women's Championships belts, and how when I was watching, I don't know if you guys watch Dinner for Three or something like that on the WWE Network. But anyways, something like that on WWE Network. And it was something that Ember Moon said about the tag team belts. And just, so I'd go on and ramble on about that a little bit, if you know what I mean. And then we'll talk about the tag team. The women's tag team is probably the most overrated if this was real life, you know what I mean. The Kabuki Warriors, they can't win. So why should you sit around and listen to me for the next 4 to 8 minutes rambling on about wrestling? I mean, what do I know? I'm just a guy who watches it. I have no wrestling experience. But I'll tell you why. It's because I flip tables. And when a man flips tables, you know he's serious and that you should listen to him. So let's go and talk about, not to Stone Cold. I wish I could talk to Stone Cold. I wish I had him right here beside me and say, hey, Stone Cold, how you doing and stuff. But I am not that famous, you know, and I only got 20 people watching this, if that. So, but anyways, talk about Stone Cold Steve Austin in his interview. A couple things. Why was important about the Stone Cold Steve Austin? If you listen at the beginning, he was talking about Seth Rollins. Seth freaking Rollins. You know, they got the belt on him, and Seth sometimes is way over, and sometimes he's not over. Why Stone Cold was talking about Seth Rollins is because you got a lot of Stone Cold Steve Austin fans. And they respect him. They respect what he says. So if Steve Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin says that Seth Rollins put everything he had to into a match and that he's this great wrestler, people are going to start believing it and they're going to start rooting for Seth Rollins because Steve Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin, believes that he's really great. So they use Stone Cold to kind of give Seth Rollins a push. And so maybe, once he gets into the, starts performing to these crowds, sorry, I'm losing my mind, people will cheer for him, root for him, say, Seth Rollins, burn it down. Well, let's hope they don't actually burn it down, though, okay? I just gotta say that. All right. And then secondly, Steve Austin was pushing his television show that's going to be after Raw. So why is it after Raw? Well, once you got Raw, which is wrestling, and Stone Cold is a wrestler, so it show's probably mostly going to be about wrestling. So what they're going to hope is that they're hoping as those who watch Raw will stay after and watch Stone Cold Steve Austin's show. On the other hand, they're hoping that since viewership usually drops off the third hour of Raw, that now that you're going to see Stone Cold Steve Austin's TV show afterwards, they'll watch the third hour of Raw. So they're still trying to use Steve Austin to promote that third hour of Raw, so people stick around and watch that third hour. Because 3 hours of wrestling on TV, with all the commercial stuff, that's a long time. Probably about an hour too long, to be honest. But that's why they're doing it. And hopefully, that's Stone Cold Steve Austin's show will be good, and people will like it. I might check it out. It is on Hulu. I work second shift, and I don't have cable. I watch all my wrestling on Hulu or the WWE Network. Which brings up, I wasn't going to talk about this, but when AEW comes up in October, if it's on, because I work the shifts I do and I don't have cable, if it's on Hulu, I'll probably try to watch it and see if I like it and probably talk about it a little bit as well as WWE. So let's move on to I'm going to put these all three together. The Candice LeRae interview, mini documentary, the tag team belts, and the Kabuki Warriors. Alright, let's start with the Candice LeRae mini documentary. documentary. It was was shot during the Toronto Takeover that Saturday with her match between her and Io Shirai. This is the aftermath when she came in. Nothing against Candice LeRae, but nothing all bad to say about her. But when she came back, she was smiling after the match. She lost the match. She came backstage. She was smiling and she was happy. That's why I always, when I look at wrestling, I always think of TV series and try to think about, well, what do I think they're going to go next with, which is crazy because in WWE they drop their storylines on a dime, and a lot of it don't make sense. Then it drives me crazy, but that's why I always look at it as a drama. Because if it was real life, and if you're an athlete, you know what I mean, that when you lose, no matter how good you did, you're still going to be a little bummed out when you lost. But she came back, she was smiling and happy, and she deserves to be happy. She did a great match with Io Shirai. It was great, and it just shows that a lot of times, I think as fans, we criticize the writing team, the creativity, like, oh, so-and-so is always losing, or why don't we see so-and-so? But the thing is that we don't always, we don't know what's going on backstage. We don't know what they're talking about, what's going on between the wrestlers and the writers and Vince McMahon, what they have plans for them. Just because they lose all the time doesn't mean that in the future they got some plans to turn things around. But I will still criticize. I mean, like the Iconics, how the Iconics always lose. That's ruining their character, and if it's their idea to always lose and to ruin, that's very bad. But anyways, so also on Candice LeRae's doc, we saw Tia Nox. If you don't know who Tia Nox is, she was in the second May Classic. She did very good. She broke her leg during one of the matches. She was trying to keep on going on, but she was impossible. So she's healthy. I look forward to seeing her on NXT. I think she's going to be really great. And I look forward to seeing her in the future. So let's bring us on to the, I think it's Dinner with Three or something like that. And this past week we had Ember Moon, Braun Strowman, and Alexis Bliss. And they were talking about the tag team women belts. And Ember Moon, again, I got nothing against Ember Moon. I think she's great. But she was talking about how she didn't want to go for the tag team belts. She wanted to concentrate on her singles match, on her singles career. And it made me think, how many, you guys, they got these tag team belts. I don't know how many of these other female wrestlers are thinking about this. About, they want to concentrate on the single career and they don't want to go for the tag team belts. And you think about it, and maybe, I don't know, but if, Ember Moon's probably not the only one thinking this. And it got me thinking, are the tag team women's championship belts a waste of time? Because there's not very many tag team women teams. Not very many women tag team teams. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but there's not. You only got, about 3 or 4 I can think of right now, and every once in a while, 2 of them will come together. And then this last Monday Night Raw when Alexis Bliss and Nikki Cross won, there was no reaction to really them winning the belts. Either people don't like them, or they was hoping that the Kabuki Warriors would win. And does the tag team women's belts is it really putting over anybody? I mean, when the Iconics had them, they lost every match. Now you got Alexis Bliss and Nikki Cross. Alexis Bliss, she was already over with the crowd. She was already a champion and so forth. And so now we got Nikki Cross. So they're probably trying to promote Nikki Cross with the tag team belts. Personally, I think it would have been better if they would just came up with 2 individual belts. Like, I don't know, maybe the Women USA, Women Intercontinental, but 2 of the lesser belts and the championship belts. That way, it would promote the mid-card talent, and give them a chance to have a belt and to shine and prosper as being a champion. Because this past week when Charlotte Flair fought Ember Moon, you know, Ember Moon's on her way up and Charlotte Flair is already on the top, right? So it makes sense that Charlotte Flair would beat Ember Moon the way they did. But what if they had two of these mid-card girls going for a mid-card belt? And that way they could win this belt. The matches would probably be better. They'd be more realistic. Not realistic, but the outcome of the match would be more unknown. And they could fight for it, get the belt. They could shine as that champion. Get WWE would be able to promote them as whatever junior champion they would be, a mid card champion they would be. But now with the tag team belts, you don't really get that. And then it moves me on to the Kabuki Warriors, which is Asuka and Kairi Sane. Do they really want the championship belt? I mean, do they really want the tag team belt? Referred to an interview I talked about a month or two ago that they gave, and Kairi Sane said her dream match would be against Asuka. And they're tag team partners right now. So maybe the reason why they're not champions is maybe, I don't know, because I'm not there backstage, but maybe the plan is for them eventually to get a rivalry against each other. I think this for a couple reasons. Not only because of the interview where Kairi said she would like to fight Asuka. Anytime you listen to these documentaries in the past, a lot of times the wrestlers will give the creativity and idea that they would like to do, and they try to make it happen. And so, you know, because they want to make their talent happy. So that could be good. And right now what we're seeing is Kairi Sane, she's always losing. The last two times that they lost, it's because she took the pin. 2, Corey Graves, when they were wrestling this past Monday, talked about how Asuka used to be one of the top female wrestlers and that she's kind of lost her edge. 3, they would fit with Asuka's character in the past when the mixed tag team match challenge, however the word was. Asuka would get mad at the Miz if he was about to lose or something, because she wanted to keep that winning streak. She can't be here. It would fit her character perfectly if she gets mad at Kairi Sane for always losing. So does these two girls really want the tag team championships, or is WWE just using them as a tag team to build up a rivalry between the two? Turn Asuka heel. It would be great because they need a heel to fight against Bayley over there. You would make Charlotte and Asuka a heel, going for the belt against Bayley, and I think everything would be great. So that's just my rambling thoughts about what I've seen this week and where it's going. Let me know what you think. Are the tag team championship belts a waste of time? Would you have preferred to see mid-card belts instead, one for each show? Or am I just crazy and the tag team championships are for the women are the best thing ever? And then what do you think about Stone Cold new show? Are you excited for it or not? And if you like this video, any other video I've ever made, please hit the like, share it, and subscribe. And until next time, sayonara.